Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it pretty? Yes, we are recording. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We are a church where we hopefully can gather people here who feel all kinds of different ways, and we can share those different ways with each other. Let me read the statement of intent for you today. We are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. By using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. And with that, let us have some greetings. Greetings with each other. Have everybody say hi, hello, how are you? If you choose not to be hugged today, just stay seated, and then otherwise we'll have a hug fest. Well, don't sit down quite yet. We're going to start this morning with our opening hymn, Let There Be Peace on Earth. The words are on the white card on the pew, in the pew in front of you. So let's sing. we have a hymn now,
We
or?
have one hymn, and it is number 305. And it's called, no, yeah, 305. And brings a song called For the Beauty of the Earth.
All right, now we will have some announcements. All right, number one, remember to put your phones on mute or silent while we're having service. Thank you very much. We do have the suggestion box, the comment box at the back of the church, but you can also email us at interfaith on 9th Street, the number 9, TH Street, at gmail.com. You can call us, leave a voicemail, you can contact a board member. If you have ideas for speakers, persons to do the healing meditation, any ideas of how we can improve what we're doing, let us know. And next week, our speaker is Gary Bullholler. We can't wait to see what he has to bring us next week. And then on the Sunday after is Adam Sipola, and I'm sure he's got a beautiful, wonderful rendition of things to come. And if you missed or would like to rewatch any of the services, you can always check out our services on YouTube. We do have them recorded and put on YouTube, so check them out. And you can, it'll take a few days for today's service to be on YouTube, but every week we have a service put up on YouTube. At this point, still one service a month will be dedicated to unity as we are working on what we're becoming next. So keep that in mind. And let's see, the Unity Discussion Group is now on Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. here at the church. So if you want to join in, you don't have to be at the beginning of the book to join in at any time. They're always riveting discussions. And let's see, Jasmine has a couple of great big announcements for us.
Good morning, and excuse my slightly froggy voice. I'm having a surprising amount of seasonal allergies this morning. I would like to just toss into the mix that, according to the radio station that I listen to in my car, today is World Animal Day. So, dear animal friends, whoever you are, wherever you are, we bless you and we thank you. Okay, here is the list. As I think you all know by now, but we need to announce it anyway, our annual meeting is about a month away. That's Sunday, October 30th. And our bylaws require that we have that meeting because we report to the congregation on our financial status, what we've been doing over the course of the past year, and deal with any other business that may be necessary to deal with. Our bylaws also require that all of us renew our membership annually, and most people do it in the fall in order to be able to vote in our board elections, which will also take place that day. The current board is working on a slate of candidates, but of course anyone who qualifies is welcome to put their name forward. Qualifications are that you must be at least 18 years of age, you must be a member, and you must be an active voting member. We've had a couple of people recently who expressed interest in becoming board members, but they do not attend regularly, as in once or twice a year. So they're really not connected to who we are and what we do, and they would not be eligible. Also, that day of the annual meeting, I tried to help create 2 carrots on a stick in order to make that day a little more palatable. And so our annual book sale will take place that day, so there will be wonderful things to choose from. The sale will also be open to the public on Saturday from probably 9 to 1, but from past experience, most church folks come and shop on Sunday. We should have a very interesting mix this year because someone found our church on Facebook, contacted me, and has what she has called an esoteric library to donate to the sale. So, yes, so that means also Sunday the 23rd, the week before the annual meeting, is the best time to drop off books, but a couple of times during that intervening week, we will need to be here to finish sorting and unpacking and so forth, and I will let you know about those times and dates. The other carrot, and Phyllis already knows that she's the other carrot, she agreed to be the carrot, is that our friend Phyllis McCoy, who has not been able to be here in person for some time, will be here speaking that day. I spoke with her on Friday just to confirm, and her talk will be titled, "We Are All Connected." One more thing. The board does want to suggest a couple of bylaws changes. However, we did not get the notice out to you all in time to deal with this issue at the annual meeting. So I'm going to briefly describe now what those proposed changes are, but we will not be able to vote on them until early December. But telling you now so that you can begin to think about what you feel the advisability is, or if you have any questions. Excuse me. The first bylaw change would be permanently reducing the number of board members from 7 to 5. We've gone back and forth recently, and the suggestion for the change really has nothing to do with how many people are attending right now. We have had input from 3 different sources, one of them practical, 2 of them spiritual, that it would best suit our needs at this time to reduce our number from 7 to 5. And just so you know, for those of us who've been here for a while, the spirit we used to call the Rev, who now prefers to be called Bill, as I understand it, has advised that 5 would be the correct number for us at this time. The other bylaw change is that for many years, only the president and vice president were elected by the congregation. The secretary and treasurer then were chosen from amongst the members of the new board as the new board sorted itself out and decided who would be comfortable doing what. However, our current bylaws do have the congregation electing all 4 of the officers, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Current board is recommending that we drop the requirement for the congregation to elect the secretary and treasurer, and that would go back to the way we used to do it, which was to allow the board to work that out for itself. Those are the two. In the letter that you're getting, I managed to explain that a little more succinctly. But if you have any questions or concerns, please talk to Carol or me or any board member. And we'll go from there. I think that's it for today. Thank you.
Thanks, Jasmine. All right, we do have on our organ over here, we have the prayer bowl into which you can place names of people or items that need to be prayed over or meditated over or thought about during our service. And you can do that physically or mentally. And at this time, I'm asking if anyone has any prayer requests.
Yes, I would like to ask for prayers for my brother-in-law, Tom.
Brother-in-law Tom of Jasmine, okay. And besides all the, Carol,
I'd like to ask continued prayers for Lynn Woodland.
continued prayers for Lynn Winland. What's going on with Lynn?
I don't like to dwell on it because we're easily pulled into looking at the problem instead of the solution. She needs healing. She has had a very long bout with cancer-related issues, and her treatment is now the issue.
Just continued prayers for healing.
Terms that she's healing, and it's unfolding, but more prayers are always welcome.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing. I didn't know she was not 100%. Any other prayer requests? Carol?
As long as we're doing continued ones, Kate Garvey still has many surgeries ahead of her.
Indeed. Oh, I did see a picture of her on Did she post a picture on Facebook? Or was it just a note? Oh, okay, I couldn't, yeah, I saw so at least we know that things are progressing, but we want further progression. I can speak today. Yeah, so, all right. Any other prayer requests? Well, all right then. After service today, don't forget to join us for coffee and snacks. And of course, the third Sunday of each month, we do have our potluck, so keep that in mind. Jerry?
Prayer for Jane's sister Elaine, who is visiting us, so she's going to have to travel back to Milwaukee, so
Okay.
blessings on her trip back home.
And what is her name?
Elaine,
Elaine.
yes,
Elaine, okay.
they're busy doing stuff this morning.
Well, let's hopefully everything works out for that. Safe travels for Elaine. All right, and with that, let's see, we will read the principles. How about the unity principles today? They should be on a white piece of paper in the pew or in the pocket in front of you. God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through our way of thinking. There is power in affirmative prayer, which we believe increases our awareness of God. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. All right, and today we will be singing hymn number 74 in Wings of Song in the silence, and then I understand Jasmine is going to be our meditation leader. So number 74.
Good
And so I invite you to relax in your chair. Find whatever position is most comfortable for you. You will, of course, know which position or attitude, as it is called sometimes, is best suited for you at this time. I invite you to begin to let go of your physical boundaries. In other words, you are aware of your being. You are aware of your consciousness. But where your physicality begins and ends is not relevant at this time. And as a matter of fact, we are all going to leave our bodies sitting here in our chairs. If you're concerned about finding your way back, just attach an invisible silver cord to your wrist and take the other end of it with you. So now you are relaxed. The best way that I can describe how you might feel right now is pleasantly fuzzy. And that's just what we want. Because it's difficult to take our conscious mind and our physically dense body on the journey, the little journey that we're going to go on this morning. So I'm going to give us all just a moment to be in this space. And just a reminder, this is not about striving. This is exactly the opposite. This is relaxing and letting go. And when you are in the space that I've described, you are you and yet not you. You are far more than you. I invite you to hear these words, but I invite you to hear these words more as energy, more as intent, rather than the spoken word that requires your ears and your brain to process. And these are the words that I have for you this morning. We are spirit. We are the stars, the moon, and the sky. We are love, and we are one. One more time, and then I'm going to leave you wherever you are with these reminders. Because, of course, we all know and understand on some deeper level that this is who we really are. We are spirit. We are the stars, the moon, and the sky. We are love. We are one. And please be with this energy all together for just a little while longer. And now, slowly and comfortably, begin to remind yourself that this time and space are your assignment right now. Remember that you have that slim silver cord, if you need it, to find your way back to your physical being. And as you come back, remain open to the energy conveyed by these words. We are spirit. We are the stars, the moon, and the sky. We are love. And truly, we are one. And so it is.
And now Carolyn Sheets will be our speaker for the day. Carolyn, come on up and tell us what you've got today.
Hi, everybody. We all made it here. And I'm going to talk about things that most of you know, maybe quite a bit about. However, it's useful, in my mind, to kind of make a map of the pieces that I'm learning. We're all learning different pieces, and some of us are learning a lot of the same ones about New Earth. And I would love to know where people are at, just a little bit. How many of you are watching any YouTubes by Pam Gregory? Okay, or by Blossom Goodchild? And Sophia Love. Okay, well, those are the three teacher speakers channels that I'm going to talk about this morning. And I'm also going to have a handout toward the end about an idea for the church that we could do as a part of New Earth community building. And it's from the film Thrive and their website. So we're going to complete with what can we do as a group. And of course, much of it is also about ourselves, what we will do ourselves. However, what we're moving into, as you probably know, is group consciousness and unity with all of humanity. And it's a big step for Earth. So the first thing I want to mention is that the New Earth subject has many different speakers, and there's not one way to understand it. However, it's a paradigm. In my understanding of how I view life, there are many paradigms. And a paradigm is, to me, how things work. What the description that I personally carry, or anybody else personally carries, about how life works. Or how it could be about how cars work too, but I'm speaking specifically about the planet and about consciousness and about how we view what happens as a human being on this planet. And so if something doesn't fit for any of us, we don't have to do it. We don't have to keep that belief or that factoid. There's all choice, free will. But I'm going to speak about this specific New Earth paradigm that I've been building in myself over the last years of understanding. So, got that really clear. We're each in charge of our own facts and beliefs. This is not a one-size-fits-all. However, I want to start by saying that I was pushed into a paradigm, and most of you have heard this story. It's not very long, but it's so meaningful to me because my paradigm in 5th grade was really shaken. I ultimately really felt betrayed by God. I felt that poverty was not fair, and I was being confronted with it in my little school. I went to an 8th grade classroom. For the first 3 grades of my schooling, I was in a one-room schoolhouse with 8 grades. And for the first time I was with, because we didn't have many friends when I grew up. We had a lot of kids, and then we had some neighbors, and that was kind of it, because we were in the country. And so suddenly in school I have all these kids, and I see Native American kids, and they're obviously poor, and they are bullied. And no one's sticking up for them, except me. And the teacher a little bit, but a lot of it wasn't where the teacher's eyes were on it. And I was horrified. I just couldn't understand this. And then we also heard a lot about India in those days because clean your plate, the kids in India are starving. So wherever that came from, I just thought about those kids. So I completely resigned from God. I told God, you're not my God anymore. I'm going to be like Jesus as well as I can, period. I didn't tell anybody. There was nobody to tell. You don't talk about that in Sunday school. You don't tell your mom and dad, especially when they're as busy as they are and as entrenched in the Methodist Protestant scenario. So it wasn't until I was about 23 that I read a book. I was searching. I was definitely searching. I had read about ESP by then. And I read about reincarnation. I had a full body experience of just flush of energy, which had never had anything like that in my life. And I heard and knew a voice that said, you used to know this, you just forgot. And suddenly there was justice. Suddenly there was fairness. Suddenly I could take back God. And it all came in a split second. But before that, I had really struggled with the injustice in the world. So now here we are today. And as I began to read then in my early 20s, I heard that there was a change coming, a big change, probably in my lifetime, that many, many, many more of us than were ever on the planet before of light beings had come to assure that the planet was going to move and move to a new level. It wasn't described. It was just simply said. So I've always known this as an adult, that we're going to be having a big change. And I've chosen that paradigm deliberately because I like that paradigm. I like hope. I like good news. I like change for the good. I've always been aware it might not be true, and that I'd rather find out later that I was wrong than live a life of doubt and fear. So that brings us to wholeness. And I was really surprised in my early reading now in Sophia's book, which is the book Steve wisely chose for us for our books, our study group on New Earth, that wholeness is one of the ways that we have been hurt. Wholeness has been taken away from us, and we don't have to go any further than think about our medical model. It's all about parts of the body. And the reason this book is here, The Aquarian Conspiracy, which was published in 1980, I was power-struck by this book because I was already very involved in holistic health in my early 20s. It came and found me. And this book described that through the 70s, in every sector of our life in the West, in North America, had been changed by wholeness. Education, relationships, medical model, man, it started to get split open by holistic health. And I was an early massage therapist, and not without a number of us who were studying Adele Davis and how we could eat differently and change our bodies, ways much more much more intentional and effective than we'd ever heard of before. So holism started to come in with the coming of age of this early wave. There's always been pioneers, but the group of us that were born in the 40s, 50s, and grew up in, especially, I mean, I'm 47. There are so many 1947 people around. And we really are the first huge wave of the change agents. There's always been others, but we are the big wave. And so I was conscious of that. I realized, I'm like, I'm on it. And so that idea of wholeness, Sophia discusses early in the book and says, wholeness was one of the ways, one of the things that was taken away from us to understand, because our power is in our wholeness. When we think about any system, context is everything. Context informs us about what the rest of the organism is doing, the environment is doing. So that's so powerful to begin to have the context of wholeness. And I'm going to go to a mantra. I love that you had a mantra in the meditation. And there is a mantra that's encoded, we are told, and this is through the channel Blossom, Good Child. And the mantra comes from the Federation of Light, which is a non-physical group, galactic in origin, maybe beyond our galaxy, I don't know, I'm not in that pay scale, that are watching over and attending us, helping us. And they are asking us all, if we choose, to use this mantra much as we can. It's very simple. It's 4 lines, and it starts with love. And it's going to be easy to remember that because love is the biggest deal of all. Y'all know that. We've all really known it our whole lives, but it's the real game changer as we encounter our love. So it is, I am the love, I am the light, I am the truth, I am. It's that simple. So I'm going to say it a couple times. You can close your eyes and just say it to yourself. Just let that, if you don't already, some of you have it already, just let that start to be imprinted. I am the love. I am the light. I am the truth. I am. One more time. I am the love. I am the light. I am the truth. I am. Love, light, and truth are all capitalized. The M is not capitalized. I don't know why. But anyway, I am the love, light, and truth. I am. And another really important tool, this might pop in a few times, it's so beautifully simple and powerful and important. We are asked to breathe, consciously breathe, to settle ourselves and to carry us in times of the unknown, in the times of changes, in the times where things seem to rock out into a new way. I'm going to speak of a few of those. Breathing helps our body be grounded, which helps the planet be stabilized. When we're in our body and we're in love and we're consciously breathing, we are a sensation of Gaia. She goes through a shift that has never been done before. Never been done before. That's what they tell us a million times. Never been done before. Has a planet ascended to a new dimension, higher dimension, with her people on it. And it is said, in my readings, Gaia chose that. She did not want to leave us behind. She did not want a crash and burn first, and then she ascends, and then a new something happens. She wanted to take us all with her that wanted to go. So, as you might know, over and over we're told we are the strongest of the strong. What that means is, you probably know, so many souls want to be here now for this big deal because we're doing such big work that we're growing spiritually exponentially, or having the opportunity to. And everybody piled in line. Now, it's pointed out by Sophia, not necessarily in this book, this is an older channeling. Oh no, it's a former book of hers. This means everybody. This means the ones who break down and do shootings. This means the migrants caught on rafts. This means everybody. It's incomprehensible, yet it has always been the truth of metaphysical paradigm descriptions. We choose our life. So it's such a big deal to be here that we who were chosen are the strongest of the strong with the capacity to hold love, to be part of the players that help this happen. So that's a big deal. I know you know that. And I want to read another couple things here. First of all, I want to say my intention for this talk. It's a couple sentences. Let this sink in for you, if you wish, because we're in this together. They don't need to tell us any more than they are. We are together. My talk goes smoothly and accurately, to the best of my ability, to my paradigm. My talk goes smoothly and accurately to affirm our community. We're already doing so much. And to support our understanding of, here's the big part, of the joy ahead. Joy's in capital letters. We are going through rough, complicated breakdown times. And they cannot say, every channel, other ones besides these, although I'm not widely read and listened. Thank God we have Steve and many of you who are out there looking at information too. But really, they cannot say any more than you will be, it's unable to describe how beautiful and joyful and happy and good it's going to be in our lifetime. They don't say more. They just say, that is that good. You've never conceived of it. So that's part of this paradigm. That's projected. And so I do this as part of our community, our church community, which is bigger than in this room, we know that we affirm each other. We love each other. We see each other doing our best and have compassion for each of us, ourselves and each other, for where we are still growing. Affirming each other, loving each other, and supporting our understanding. So if we hear a good thing, they tell us, get out there and share. There's a lot of people that don't know and that are in flat out despair and don't have anything in their paradigm that has hope in it. So being intuitive and aware, of course, but we are asked to speak up and share. And so we'll each do that in our own ways. Very much it can be done silently in prayer. Very much it can be done silently walking down the street. Being in our heart, having compassion and love and admiration for every single person we see. That's my big practice. I'm sure a long way from pulling that one off. To just walk around accepting, loving, and affirming people. for whatever their story is, because we don't know their stories. Right, okay, got that. Couple quotes here now. You can close your eyes if you want. Breathe deeply and hold love. Breathe through the rough times. They're all saying this. Breathing. Remember, this is number 2, it is all for the highest good of all, and it is in divine timing. I want to say a thing about timing. Lots of us, friends, groups, fussing and betrayed by how long and how much suffering on the planet. It's horrifying to know how much suffering there is. And we are asked, certainly, to have compassion, but to love and trust. Love God, love each other, offer our love and strength and compassion, and know, everybody says this, that I'm reading, listening to, it's in divine order. It's going perfectly. It doesn't look like that from the earth view, but it's going right on schedule. So we trust God. We trust the planet to be on her mission, and we are doing our part that way. Oh, and the next one, remember you are on a mission, the greatest mission ever. That's from the Federation of Light. We forget that. We're just busy. I'm just trying to get the laundry done. It gets stalled 3 days at a time. Things are going so fast. We are on a mission, and it is the greatest mission ever. They can't say enough. They can't say enough about, no, I think I turned it off. No, okay, good. They can't say enough about, this has never been done anywhere. And we know we are in a world, in a universe of expanding universes, not just expanding galaxies, expanding universes. Never has this been tried. We'll wait and see. But as I say, my paradigm says I'm willing to believe it because it's good news, and I'd rather live in that kind of a world. And if I'm wrong, I'll find out when I go. It will be at the perfect time. All indeed is very well. So we feel the tragedies, we see them, we listen. Lots of us have unplugged from the daily news because it's orchestrated to keep us sad, lost, scared, disabled by chaos. Because if the news was holistic, we'd hear that more beings, more souls, more people on the planet than ever have been imagined have awakened. The numbers are swelling. That's why we're pulling this off. Because the light has come in everywhere, every continent. So many people, we are the ones that are allowing this to happen. Humanity is the one allowing this to happen. Nature is astonishing partner, but humanity are the creators, the co-creators with the divine. So, we are the ones that will accept this timing of the divine. And gosh, the time goes so fast, you guys. I got to get off this stage now. I want to mention a couple things. I started with astrology, Pam Gregory. Now, I've always believed astrology was a real deal, but I had nothing to base that on except it made sense that people were hearing accurate things, and I was hearing accurate things when I looked at it. So, but what has happened now, an enormous news for most of it is plasma. Have any of you heard of plasma? Couple? There's a wonderful YouTube. I'm going to ask that anybody who's not on the New Earth group that wants to get some links, Steve will send them out. I've chosen a few that you might really enjoy. And there's a scientist, very respected scientist. I looked him up online after I heard him speak with Pam Gregory, the astrologer I'm listening to. And Robert Temple has written a very respected book on plasma. It's called The New Science of Heaven. And it's an hour-long conversation with him. And plasma turns out to be another form of matter. It's called pre-matter. So it's when we start to have any kind of strong thought, and of course we've asked ourselves to get good at that with manifesting, energy starts to form. It can be seen as sort of a cloud by clairvoyance and with a wide enough vision to see energy like that. And it permeates the universe. The universe is a 99.9%, something like that, plasma. And so where they used to say there's nothing in the universe, now science has advanced enough to see, oh, well, there is something there actually, and we're calling it plasma. And it was first discovered early in the 1900s in our Western science anyway, and now it's kind of a real deal. And it's something that we can know exists, and we can have more, not just confidence, but more knowing, more understanding of how things work when we think a thought, emotionalize it, and really lock it in. That's what's happening. We're forming it. Now, I sort of intuitively knew we were forming something, but now we got a name for it, and we've got people mapping it, and there's 2 enormous plasma clouds that have been right around our planet, I guess forever in terms of how humanity thinks about things, which might be the source of our Akashic records. That might be where our Akashic records are stored. Because think how many Akashic records there have to be, because we're living in a galaxy, in a universe with many, I mean, I forget how many billions they talk about, of galaxies, and it's permeated with life. This is another thing that happened with New Earth, is that we are now being exposed to what we weren't taught. History is a sham, and our science has been a sham, and we as human beings have been kept to be small, to not know how powerful we are, and not know how powerful love is. Love is our superpower, they say. Our superpower, which allows us to do everything, except it got relegated to romantic love, and same words, but it's consciousness, and it's, we just have to go with it. It has to be an intuitive leap. I don't understand it all either, but a lot of it's intuitive, and it hangs together. It makes sense. Once I'm standing in this paradigm, I can see the common sense of it within this paradigm. And the essence is, I didn't tell you the short story of the big story. The short story of the big story is, we as humanity have been amazing since the beginning of this planet, and we're landed here by divine, however that happens. We did not come from the gorillas and from the amoeba. We really did get set down here as humanity, this paradigm, and as always happens, she says, the channel says, we were being watched by other races around us. I assume this galaxy, but that's only assumptions. And they were used to having colonization and plundering for resources, just like the white Europeans did in the Middle Ages. We, took on different continents and said, okay, you're mine. Craziness. And humanity turned out to be the most astounding race that had ever been witnessed, and came the big prize. So we could ask her why she's laughing, but we don't have time. We could talk about that at lunch. But humanity was seen to be so loyal to each other, so loving, and so resourceful, and so tenacious. We could and would solve things together. And they had not witnessed, the watchers, the visitors, had not witnessed such a thing. So the hard part of the story that's already now behind us is that we have been groomed, our DNA changed to be slaves to a ruling class whose origin is off planet. They're never seen. But they're certainly working through the uber rich of the 1% of 1%. But they, who wanted to keep us small, had us not thinking about the galaxy, had us not thinking about life after death, had us not thinking about where we are. They're leaving. There's been enough light that they're leaving. They're being taken out. And one of the big things, I'm going to go over a little bit here, people. One of the big things is called the event. And I'll send you, Steve will send you, we'll together, because Steve's who's taught me about Blossom. I didn't know about Blossom. The event is going to be a time when the whole planet, at once, gets flooded with love at a level we've never experienced, and we are going to understand everything that happened to us. We're going to understand that we were captured and now free, and that now is our opportunity to rebuild the earth into everybody has a seat at the table. The Aquarian age, which we all heard about since the 60s. That's when I started hearing about the Aquarian age, and I was an Aquarian. So it's a time of peace. It's a time of community. It's a time of doing things together, and flat systems. And hierarchy, epitomized by Capricorn, has to fall apart, has to crumble. And that's what's happening now, as we see systems collapsing. And we're in 2 years now where there's going to be a major collapse till the end of 24, or maybe deeply into 25. So that's 2 to 3 years and some months. And that's when Pluto, this is all I know about astrology, folks. Don't ask me any big astrology questions. But Pluto is a planet that works like a bulldozer at the deepest levels of our psyche. So it uproots shadow at the deepest level of a culture, of a country, of a person, to clear hierarchy. Because nature, humanity, divine, is not about hierarchy. And Aquarius, the opposite, wants everybody together, and that's how we can predict these times. Astrologically, it's all mapped out. So that's why we can say dates and years and length of time. The breakdown continues right now while we're still in Capricorn. We're going to go in and out of Capricorn and Aquarius a little bit in the next couple of years, but mostly Pluto's still uprooting hierarchy all over the world. And right now, October and November are said to be some of the biggest months ever. So we really need to breathe. We really need to remember love. We really need to remember that the divine plan is in place. And this is all preparation for a full breakdown of hierarchy. And then we, humanity, are going to create new systems. And this is called a handbook of different subject areas. I read the one on justice, where justice is being discussed, and how we're going to have to remake our entire justice system based on love. This is awesome big work ahead of us. And of course, our younger generations, we're the pioneers here. But the younger generations, more and more ready for this. It's going to be a glorious time for those of us here. And the event, capital T, capital E, that I'm talking about, all over the world, all this love, all this reveal, that's going to be the beginning. And those of us who understand what's happening are going to be such powerful helpers, because we're going to need to be ministering to people who are totally blown away, don't know what's going on, many scared, don't know. And it's said those of us that have the consciousness for it will be like beacons of light, so people can find us. And we're going to be like, yeah, let's walk this way together. Here's what's happening. That's the event. Prior to that, we may have, Sophia's telling us in a recent email channeling, we may have a solar flash, which will not be as big, but it'll be very dramatic, and we don't know. They never give very many details or timing on these things to us. That makes sense to third dimension. We just have to accept that. But the solar flash might come first. It's not a definite. The event is a definite. So our role, we've already said, and our role to help the people who we feel are open or searching and are in despair. Okay, now, want to just say it so you've heard it once. In the astrology, with Robert Temple and plasma, astrology is explained more scientifically because we are now able to see energy patterns at a new level than we used to have. And so astrology is completely based on the science of energy that's real. They can track it. And it's called fractals. I don't understand the rest. Fractals. But that's what's showing it, us and the astrologers, why this works, why it's so true. And we now in astrology have many more planets. They're called outer planets, dwarf planets, that carry consciousness of ancient wisdom or new things. They weren't affecting us before. We were locked into 3D. We weren't open to that astrology of the consciousness. We were getting archetypes, all the 12 archetypes of the wheel of astrology. That was embedded. We've been predicting and understanding our lives through the archetypes. But now we're getting lots of consciousness access. So you're going to hear about that if you listen to any of the astrology, the ones that I'm listening to. Because that helps, it helps confirm and guide us to have these consciousness things. Lots of them are from ancient cultures on this planet, indigenous peoples who were using energy at very high levels. I mean, let's just think about what went on in South America with temples and the Aztec and many all over the world, all over the world. And so we're going to be hearing about that, and that's influencing us. It's all helping us. And last thing, maybe I said it now. Okay, I think I said that part. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. We did a good job. Oh, and now I have a handout. The handout is, real quick, just two-sided. And this is a group that I think we might want to have at church as part of the New Earth thing. It might be a split off from it. It's from the film Thrive. It's from their website. And they have a solutions model where people can join up with other people interested in their things and start helping with more ideas and solutions, because that's the rebuilding process. Okay, I'm going to pass these around. Thank you all so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Very impassioned, very exciting. Can I get somebody to bring up a basket from the back to collect some donations for today while Carol plays some lovely music? And in our back of our minds, let's pray for Florida and South Carolina, North Carolina, everyone's who's been affected with Ian and Canada. Yeah, everybody along the East Coast is getting hit with that, so keep those in our prayers, please. I need one. Ah, all right. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, all that we are, and all that we receive. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and since we are running a little long, I think we should probably skip the last hymn there. Yeah, well, the last, before the last song. This, as in benediction, I don't really have anything. Would you have a benediction? Okay, yes, we can do that in the circle. All right, so let's gather in our circle up here, and we will have Jasmine do a nice little benediction, and we'll sing our final song, God Be With Us.